Hi everyone, we're solving this math paper today. This is 9709, paper 11, May June 2023. I've already solved paper 12 and I'll be solving paper 13 very soon, before your exam on the 11th of October, I think. So keep an eye on the channel and hit the subscribe button and click the bell so that you get all the notifications. So before we start, let's take a look at the threshold for this paper. So currently we're doing paper 11. So the maximum available raw mark is 75. A was at 50, B was at 43, C was at 33, D was at 23, and E was at 14. All right. So let's write that down. You could compare it with paper 1-2. It was almost the same difficulty. It just feels like paper 1-2 was a bit harder. And comparatively, paper 1-3 was the easiest out of all of them, clearly. So let's write this down. The maximum available raw mark is 75. And A was at 50, B was at 43, C was at 33, D was at 23, E was at 14. As you can see, there's a difference of around 9, 10, 10, 7 marks. So yeah, A star should be around, maybe 8 marks above this, so it was around 58-ish. 7 to 10 marks above this. So yeah, the range is from was probably around 57 to 60. You needed that mark to get an A star, so you guys can try doing this paper, and if you do succeed getting like at least a 60, you're good to go. Okay, so without further ado, let's begin. Before we start though, I want to give a quick shout out to my Patreon. So if you guys want to support me, please consider supporting me on patreon.com/CAIPaperSolved. There are 3 tiers currently, one for general support, another one for access to notes for physics and chemistry, as well as ad-free videos, and access to all my solved question papers for P1, M1, P3, S1, starting from 2002 to 2023, as well as chemistry, physics, bio, paper 1, paper 2, paper 4, and paper 5. And for the ultimate learning experience, you get access to one-on-one video calls with me, along with the other benefits in the previous tiers, as well as priority for question paper solving requests and your name in the credits on screen on all of my YouTube videos, as long as you support me. Also, we've just launched the official Discord channel for CI Paper Solved. So if you want to drop by, I'll just leave a link in the description below. Where I'll just give updates on my next schedule, on what papers I'm going to solve next, and you guys can give me requests for paper solving, as well as talk to me sometimes. Maybe there are text channels for all the papers, P1, M1, P3, S1, as well as science. So yeah, we can talk there. If I'm free, I'll solve your problems. So yeah, consider dropping by. So without further ado, let's begin. Remember that all non-exact, right? Non-exact numerical answers should be given to 3 significant figures or was 1 decimal place if it's an angle in degrees, unless a different level of accuracy is specified in the question. Okay, I think we're good to go. Let's begin. So starting with question number 1. Solve this equation. Fine. Let's do that. So we have 4 sine theta plus tan theta equals to 0. The domain is from 0 to 180 and they are not inclusive. So how do we solve this? We can write this as 4 sine theta plus sine theta by cos theta is equal to 0. We can perform LCM actually. So what do we get? 4 sine theta cos theta plus sine theta is equal to 0. Then we can take sine theta common, so we end up with 4 cos theta plus 1 is equal to 0. So finally, we are going to end up with 2 solutions. One of them being sine theta equals to 0, while the other is 4 cos theta plus 1 equals to 0, or cos theta equals to minus 1 by 4. Now, I remember to take your calculator to degrees before solving this, or else it won't match. Okay. So one of them being sine inverse 0. So my basic acute angle is alpha, which is 0 degree, and you know the rule for sine, right? The rule for sine is alpha and 180 minus alpha. I don't use the quadrants because the mark scheme does not actually, use the quadrants. Rather than that, we are going to be using this method. Sine theta is alpha and 180 minus alpha. So what is the other one? It's 180 minus 0 degrees, which is 180 degrees. And for cos, in this method, you actually take the sine inside the calculator. So cos inverse minus 1 by 4. That is giving me an alpha of 104.5 degrees. And the rule for cos is you are going to get alpha and minus alpha. So it's 104.5 degrees and also minus 104.5 degrees. So now let's take a look at the domain. It's from 0 to 180. These answers are 0 and 180, but sadly there isn't an equal to sign, which is why we can't take them, right? As a result, we end up with the final answer of theta is only equal to 104.5 degree, and that is it. That is the only answer within the range. The others don't match. And don't bother adding or subtracting 360 because it would just go outside of the domain. Okay. Question number 2, find the first three terms in the expansion in ascending powers of this. So let's begin. 2 plus 3x to the power 4 can be written as, it's basically 4c0, 2 to the power 4, and 3x to the power 0, plus 4c1, 2 cube 3x to the power 1, plus 4c2, 2 square, and 3x whole square, plus dot dot dot. We just need the first three powers, so that ends up being 2 to the power 4 only, which is 16, plus how much is this? 4c1 into 2 cube into 3, which is 96, plus 96x, and then 4c2 into 2 square into 3 square, which is 216, plus 216x square, plus dot dot dot. But we don't need the other terms. This is it. These are the first three terms, and that's our answer. Now find the first three terms in this expansion of 1 minus twice x to the power 5, which can be written as 5c0, 1 to the power 5, and it's basically minus twice x to the power 0, plus 5c1, 1 to the power 4, minus twice x to the power 1, plus 5c2, 1 cube, and minus twice x whole square. So if we do solve this, it's going to be 1. So how much is this? 5c1 into 1 into minus 2, which is minus 10, right? That is minus 10x. And here 5c2 into 1 into minus 2 whole square, which is plus 40x square. So yeah, that's that. Hence, find the coefficient of x square in this expansion of this one specifically. 2 plus 3x to the power 4 and 1 minus 2x to the power 5. It's pretty straightforward. We can just bring these back in. So this multiplied by this over here. There you go. There are other terms, but we don't actually need those. So I want x square. So how do I get x square exactly? I essentially need to multiply. Let me show you what we need to multiply. So I need to multiply 16 with this one. Then I need to multiply this x with this one over here. And finally, I need to multiply this one with this over here, okay? So that is going to be 16 times 40 plus 96 times minus 10 plus 206 times 1, which is 16 into 40 minus 96 times 10 plus 216, which is minus 104. That is our answer. That is our coefficient. Fine. Hopefully I could clarify. Let's move on to question number 3. How many questions do we have in this paper? We have a total of 12 questions, okay? Hopefully we are going to be done pretty fast. Describe Fourier sequence of two transformations which transforms the graph of y is equal to fx to y is equal to gx. So this is our starting point. So clearly what's involved? a translation is involved, and since it became longer vertically, so a vertical stretch is involved. Okay, so think about it this way. This point over here, this was translated over here. Okay, so for example, this point over here was translated here. So just let's look at the vector, what actually happened, and it became elongated, right? Clearly it looks like it became elongated. So let's check. Okay, so for example, this was initially at 3, now it's at 6. These two values, they were at 3 but now they are at 6. It's basically over here like this. So what is that? It's a vertical stretch with stretch factor 2. It's a stretch with stretch factor 2 in the y direction. Similarly, this point over here, this was at -3, now it's at -6. Okay, what else? The point at -2 will be at -4. The point at -1 will be at -2. This one will share the same point. This one at +1 will go to -2. Yeah, that's more or less it. So if we join the lines, okay, suppose if I join the lines over here like this, it's actually a bit hard to draw, honestly. It's gonna pass through here. Yeah, it's basically this graph. The graph I drew on the right hand side. This one over here. Let me draw it with the same color, yeah. Now, this is what happened initially. It became elongated vertically, so it's a vertical stretch with stretch factor 2. And then, as you can see, clearly it was translated. For example, let's take a look at this point. Uh, on the y-axis, it's in the same location, but on the x-axis, what happened to it? It moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places. So what's the vector actually? -6, 0. It moved horizontally by 6 units. Okay, so that is essentially it. Why don't we draw it? It's so hard to draw these graphs, honestly. Straight lines, yeah, something like that. Anyway, so the first transformation is a stretch. Oh, by the way, this is the first one is vertical, while the next one is horizontal. Okay, so what do you need to keep in mind? If, like, when does order really matter? When does order matter? Basically, always try by trial and error. Like I checked here, that's the easiest way to do. Never memorize it. But there are certain multiplications and there are certain additions and subtractions. For example, let me teach you something. You know that for reflections, any vertical reflection is simply minus fx, and any horizontal reflection is f minus x, right? Similarly, this is a vertical stretch which is 2 times fx, and any horizontal stretch would be like this, f half x, which has stretch factor 2. So these are all multiplications, and a translation is addition and subtraction. So what do you need to do first? That actually is determined by the series of transformations that you have, whether they are horizontal, whether they're vertical. But anyway, you don't need to really remember that. It's just gonna, I personally feel like it just, makes it more difficult. Just try doing it. Just try applying it and see if it works, okay? Like I did here on the diagram. So the first thing is a stretch with factor 2. in the y direction, you get 2 marks for that. And the second one is a translation with vector -6, 0. That is it. Okay. Moving on to question 4. The diagram shows a sector ABC of a circle with center A and radius 8. The area of the sector is 16 by 3 pi centimeter square. The point D lies on the arc ABC. So on arc BC. Find the perimeter of the segment BCD. So they've asked us to find out this perimeter over here. Let's try. We know that the area of the whole sector is 16 pi by 3. So why don't we do that? We know that the area of the sector is, area of the sector, it has a particular formula. It is half AB sine theta, right? Or half r squared theta. Same thing. The area is half r squared theta. So why don't we use that? 16 pi by 3 is equal to half into 8 square into theta. So 8 square into 0.5, then 16 pi by 3 divided by your answer actually gives you this. You end up with theta is equal to pi by 6 after calculation. So yeah, we have theta. It is actually pi by 6. That's really good. Now we have the angle. What do we need? Find the perimeter of the segment BCD. So we can find out the length of arc BC really easily. What is the length of the arc? Arc length is equal to r theta. So S is basically equal to 8 times pi by 6, which is 4 by 3 pi. Fine. So that is our arc length. That's good. And now we need to find out the length of BC, which we can find using either cos rule, or you could just use trigonometry. For example, you guys know about this. Obviously, we've been doing it from O levels. By the way, I'm glad to say that we've actually expanded to O levels content. So if you guys do know any juniors from your school, please do recommend the channel, because we're bringing out some banger content. Hopefully it's gonna blow up by next May, June. So yeah, I've drawn this triangle over here, as you can see. So what will the angle be now? So now you know that this angle is half of pi by 6, which is pi by 12. This is a right angle triangle. You know the hypotenuse 8, and we need this distance cx. So we can use sine theta. Like we can use sine pi by 12 is equal to opposite cx by hypotenuse, which is 8. So cx is finally 8 times sine pi by 12, or you could directly find out cb, which is 2 times that. cb is equal to 2 times cx, which is 2 times 8 times sine pi by 12. Fine. Now, what do we end up with finally? It is 16 into sine pi by 12. 16 into sine pi by 12. And you need to, convert the degrees to radians in your calculator. So that's sine pi by 12 times 16, which is 4 root 6 minus 4 root 2, or 4.1411. On the other hand, 4 pi by 3 is 4.1888. Therefore, what is our perimeter? Perimeter is basically the arc length BC, which is 4.1888 plus this length that we have here for CB, 4.1411 plus 4.1411, which is giving us a value of 8.332 to three significant figures. That is going to be our answer. That's it for question 4. Please do comment below if you have any queries. Moving on to question 5. The line with equation y is equal to kx minus k, where k is a positive constant, is a tangent to the curve with the equation y is equal to minus 1 by 2x. Find in either order the value of k and the coordinates of the point where the tangent meets the curve. Fine. So since it's a tangent, we know that the roots are going to be real and equal, right? So our first job here is going to be, we are going to equate both of them. So one is kx minus k, the other is minus 1 by 2x. So after cross multiplication, you end up with 2kx square minus 2kx is equal to minus 1, or 2kx square minus 2kx plus 1 is equal to 0. So this is our equation. Now we know that since roots are real and equal, since it's a tangent, it's going to meet it once only. We know that b square minus 4ac is going to be equal to 0. Fine. So what is our b over here? It is minus 2k whole square. Then we have minus 4. What is a? A is 2k. And what is c? It is 1. Okay, so that is equal to 0. So we end up with 4k square minus 8k is equal to 0. We end up with two critical values. 4k k minus 2 is equal to 0. So k is 0 or 2. But they have mentioned that k is a positive constant. So we need to mention that, k cannot be equal to 0. Therefore, k is equal to plus 2. Do you guys get how we did this? This is the only answer. Now, what's the next part? We found out the value of k. Now we need the coordinates of the point where the tangent meets the curve. Now let's find out the coordinates. It's going to be pretty straightforward. So let's do that. How to do it? I am going to input the value of k over here. So what do we get? 2k, which is 2 times 2, or 4x square. Then minus 2 to the 4, which is minus 4x plus 1 equals to 0. If you perform middle term breaking properly, what do you get? This is an easy one. It's 4x square minus 2x plus 1 equals to 0. 2x, so that is basically 2x minus 1 minus 1, 2x minus 1 equals to 0, which is essentially 2x minus 1 whole square is equal to 0. So we have only one coordinate, which is x equals to plus 1 by 2. Now if I want to find out the y coordinate, it is simply y is equal to minus 1 by 2x. Y is equal to minus 1 by 2x, which is y is equal to 1 divided by minus 1 divided by 2 into half, which is y is equal to minus 1. So these are our coordinates. X is equal to half and minus 1. So this is it. And that's what they wanted. They didn't want anything else. So that is our answer. These are the coordinates of the point where the tangent meets the curve. Fine. Moving on to question number 6. Till now I'm finding out that this paper was much easier than variant 1-2. It was much harder. The first three terms of an arithmetic progression are p squared by 6, 2p minus 6, and p. Given that the common difference of the progression is not 0, find the value of p. So it's an arithmetic progression, so we can write that the common difference, d, is actually equal to 2p minus 6 minus p squared by 6. What about the other one? It is basically d is equal to p minus 2p minus 6. So if you simplify it, you end up with 2p minus 6 minus p squared by 6, and d is equal to p minus 2p plus 6. So d is equal to 6 minus p. Now we can actually equate these two d's. So 2p minus 6 minus p squared by 6 is equal to 6 minus p. So after further simplification, we actually end up with 3p minus 12 minus p squared by 6 equals to 0. We can perform LCM, so that is actually equal to 18p 6 into 12 is 72, right? So minus 72 minus p square by 6 equals to 0, or 18p. So let's just simplify this like this, Okay, fine. 18p minus 72 minus p square equals to 0, or p square minus 18p plus 72 is equal to 0. Fine, that's good. Now we can solve this quadratic equation. Let's do that. You can do it using your calculator. 1 minus 1872. You get 12 and 6. So these are my answers. 12 and 6. How did we do it? You don't have to show all the working. You could just show that you know the answers from the calculator. It is 12 and 6, right? So you could write p minus 12 and p minus 6 is equal to 0. Therefore, p is equal to 6 or 12. Now let's find out d. We know that d is equal to 6 minus p, right? So d is equal to, one of them is 6 minus 6, which is 0. So d cannot be this, because they told us that the difference is not 0. So this is excluded. D cannot be 0. So we are going to take the other one, which is 12. So D is equal to 6 minus 12. So the value of D is in fact minus 6. That's fine. So we got the answer of D. And what do they want? Find the value of P. So the only value of P, the valid value of P is 12 only, and that is our answer, okay? But P cannot be equal to 6. It is only 12. Using this value, find the sum to infinity of the geometric progression with the first two terms, this and this. So we need to find the value of r, which is second term divided by the first term, p squared by 6. So let's just input that over here. P is 12. So 2 12s are 24 minus 6 divided by 12 square by 6, which is 24. So r is actually equal to 18 by 24, which is 3 by 4. Fine. So I have the value of r. Now the value for sum to infinity is a divided by 1 minus r, which is, what is a? The first term is p squared by 6. So a is actually equal to p squared by 6, which is 12 squared by 6, which is 24. So that is 24 divided by 1 minus r, 3 by 4. So 24 divided by 1 minus 0.75, which gives me a value of 96, and that happens to be our answer. I just checked the mark scheme, so that's all good. So we are done with half the paper. Moving on to question number 7. A curve has equation y is equal to 2 plus 3 sine half x for 0 to 4 pi. State the greatest and least values of y. Alright. So you guys know the drill that sine half x can take a value from minus 1 to plus 1. So what will the least value be? So the least value is going to be 2 plus 3 into minus 1, which is 2 minus 3 or minus 1. And the greatest value is going to be 2 plus 3 into plus 1, which is 2 plus 3 or plus 5. Okay, is that fine? Minus 1 plus 5. Now we are asked to sketch the curve. So the graph, like, do you guys know how it's done? Suppose if we have sine x, what is the period? This 360 divided by 1, which is 360. Now what about sine 2x? What is the period? 360 divided by 2, which is 180. Now just introduce pi here instead of 360. So I mean 2 pi. So for the first one, it is in fact 2 pi, but for the second one, it's pi. So what about sine half x? What will it be? 2 pi divided by half. So after reciprocal, the period is actually 4 pi. So that's the important point. And yeah, we need the least and greatest values, which is minus 1 and plus 5. So let's try doing that. Plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5. And you have minus 1 over here. And where is our equilibrium position? It is at plus 2. So plus 2 is our equilibrium position. Fine. Now it's a plus sign curve and the period is 4 pi. It is going to end at 4 pi. So let's try doing it. We know that at pi we are going to have our maximum value, and at 3 pi we are going to have our minimum value over here. Okay, so let's try drawing it. Here you go, like this, and then again like this. Here you go. So yeah, it's gonna end at 4 pi essentially, like this. So this is our graph. This is 2 plus 3 sine half x. The equilibrium position is plus 2. The amplitude is plus 3, so it's 2 plus 3 5, 2 minus 3 minus 1, and the period is 4 pi, so it will cross the midpoint at 2 pi, the middle value. Yeah, okay. State the number of solutions of the equation 2 plus 3 sine half x equals to 5 minus 2x. So to do this, we need to draw the graph of 5 minus 2x. Let's try doing that. 5 minus 2x. So it's going to start at plus 5. And you guys know that 5 minus 2x, I can actually, at x0, y is equal to 5, but when y is equal to 0, what happens? Let's see. 5 minus 2x equals to 0, 2x equals to 5, x equals to 5 by 2, which is 2.5. So what is 2.5 exactly? You guys know that 2 pi, right? What is 2 pi? It is 6.28. 2 pi is 6.28 and pi is 3.142. And what about pi by 2? Pi by 2 is 1.57. So where should 2.5 lie? 2.5 should lie between pi by 2 and, 3.142. Somewhere in between. So clearly, and it should be closer to, because there's a gap of 1.5. 1.57 plus 0.75. 2.32. Yeah, it should be closer to, compared to the midpoint, it should be a bit closer to pi. So if you draw a line connecting these 2 points, if you draw a line connecting these 2 points, wait, something like this. Clearly, how many times do they intersect? Only once, right? Which is why our answer is one solution, because our graph is actually intersecting this curve at one point only. Okay, so that's the logic behind this. I found out where it's intersecting the x-axis, and then I converted and I tried to figure out where 2.5 lies with respect to pi. That's the logic behind it. Okay. Okay, so for question number 8, excuse me, the functions f and g are defined as follows. Fine. Where a and b are constants, given that f7 is equal to 5 by 2 and gf5 equals to 4, find the values of a and b. Fine. So f of 7 is equal to 5 by 2. So let's write that down. 1 plus 2a divided by 7 minus a. That's one equation. What about the other one? We have to find out g of gfx first. Sorry. So let's do that. So we have to insert f into g. We insert f into g. That is the technique. Okay, let's simplify the one on the left first. So what do we have? F of 7 equals to 5 by 2. This is equal to 1 plus 2a divided by 7 minus a. After further simplification, it's 5 by 2 minus 1 on the left hand side. 5 by 2 minus 1, which is 3 by 2. 3 by 2 is equal to 2a divided by 7 minus a. After cross multiplication, we get 21 minus 3a is equal to 4a, or 7a is equal to 21, and finally a is equal to 3. That is what we get ultimately. Okay, a is equal to 3. On the other hand, gfx, we insert f into g. So that is basically b, and then inside here we have 1 plus 2a divided by x minus a. So if we input that, 2 times 3 is 6 divided by x minus 3 minus 2. This is g of x. Now we know that gf of 5 is equal to 4, so we can actually write that 4 is equal to b times 1 plus 6 divided by x minus 3 will be 5 minus 3 minus 2. So that is 4 is equal to b times 1 plus 6 by 2 minus 2. And finally, 4 is equal to b 1 plus 3, which is 4 minus 2. So we end up with 4 is equal to 4b minus 2. So 4b is equal to 6 and b is equal to 3 by 2 finally. So those are my two answers, and yeah, they're correct. I just checked the mark scheme. Now what? Now for the rest of this question, you should use the value of a which you found in part 1. Okay. So we know that fx equals to 1 plus 6 by x minus 3. Fx equals to 1 plus 6 divided by x minus 3, right? 1 plus 6 divided by x minus 3 for x is greater than a, or x is greater than, for x is greater than 3. So guys, we know that the domain of f inverse x will be the range of fx. So this domain of f inverse will be the range of fx. Fine. So let's find out the range of fx first. So basically it has to be greater than 3. So see this, if you try to input 3, what do you get? 1 plus 6 divided by 3 minus 3, which is 1 plus 6 by 0, which is undefined. That's infinity, right? So basically any number greater than 3. So if you try f4, which is greater than 3, that is 1 plus 6 divided by 4 minus 3, which is 6 by 1, that is 7. And then if you try 5, that is 1 plus 6 divided by 2, which is 3 plus 1 or 4. As you can see, as you keep on inputting a higher number, like if you try f is 6, you are going to end up with 1 plus 6 divided by 3, which is 1 plus 2, or that's 3. The number is decreasing over time. So honestly, to find the value, find the range of this, we should plot the graph, which will make it easier for you guys to understand. I want to make you understand. And basically what you need to do is try a really big value like 1000. Then you'll get the truth. 1 plus 6 divided by 1000 minus 3, which is 997. So 1 plus 6 divided by 997 is actually 1.006. Okay, so it will never, the higher, doesn't matter how high of a value you take, it will never go below 1. It will always be 1 plus a very small value. So our value, our range of fx will always be greater than 1. That is the range. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys the working, and let me show you the graph. Okay, so which value is non-existent? 3 is non-existent. It is undefined. Now it has to be greater than 3, so it will be on the right side of the graph. So at 4, when we tried 4, we saw that it was 7. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So this is our asymptote, and it is 7 at x equals to 4. And then at x equals to 5, it is 4. At 5, it is 1 2 3 4. And then at 6, it is 3, which is 1 2 3. So as you can see, the further we go, we know that it can never be 3. Okay, it can never be 3 firstly, and also it will never be below a certain value, right? That is 1. So it will never be below this value of 1. So if you try to extend the graph, you will see that it's going to look something like this. So our graph will always be greater than +1. Okay, so that is the gist that I was trying to show you guys. So we don't need to show all this working. We can simply state that the domain of f inverse x is greater than 1. See if that makes sense. Excuse me. Find an expression for f inverse x. Fine, let's do that. So you know the drill. You have to say let fx be y, then y is equal to 1 plus 6 by x minus 3, or 6 divided by x minus 3 is equal to y minus 1, followed by 6 is equal to xy minus x minus 3y plus 3. So what you need to do is you got to make x the subject here essentially. So xy minus x is equal to 6 minus 3, which is 3, plus 3y. And finally, after you take x common, y minus 1 equals to 3 plus 3y. Therefore, x is equal to 3 plus 3y divided by y minus 1. So finally, the expression for f inverse x is, in fact, 3 plus 3x divided by x minus 1. Okay, so this is one way of doing it. 3 plus 3x divided by x minus 1. In the mark scheme, they have an alternate answer, which is also okay. They've mentioned that this is fine in the mark scheme. In the mark scheme, they have this. They wrote that f inverse x equals to 3 plus 6 divided by x minus 1, which is the same thing. If you perform LCM, 3x minus 3 plus 6 by x minus 1. So yeah, after simplification, that is 3x plus 3 by x minus 1. Here they just kept this 6 intact. That's why it happened to be like that. Okay, same thing. Like for example, this is one route that I could take. The other route was I could go for this xy minus x is equal to 6 minus 3 plus 3y. So x y minus 1 is equal to 6 minus 3 plus 3y. And finally, therefore, x is equal to 6 minus 3 plus 3y divided by y minus 1. So what they decided to do was, check this. They decided to keep the 6 separate. So they wrote f inverse x equals to 6 divided by x minus 1. And on that side, they just went for, if you take this, the 3y in front, it's plus 3y minus 3 like this. So plus 3 y minus 1 divided by y minus 1. You can get rid of that, which makes it 6 divided by x minus 1 plus 3. Fine. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's how you do it. Let's move on to the next part, question number 9. So we have 4 left, 9, 10, 11, 12. Water is poured into a tank at constant rate of 500 cm3 per second. The depth of water in the tank t seconds after filling starts is 8 cm. When the depth of water in the tank is 8 cm, the volume is given by the formula V equals to 4 by 3, 25 plus h whole cube minus 62,500 by 3. Find the rate at which h is increasing. So we want to find dh by dt. All right, let's do that. So to do that, we need to find dv by dh first. So how much is that? The 3 will come down. That is 3 into 4 by 3, 25 plus h whole square. And what's the differentiation of 25 plus h? It's simply 1. And minus 62,500 by 3 is a 0 after differentiation. Okay, so we can get rid of this. We end up with 4 times 25 plus h whole square. That is our dv by dh. Now we want to find out dh by dt, right? So we know that dh by dt is actually equal to, what is this? This 500 cm cube rate of volume. So that's dv by dt. So this is going to be dh by dv into dv by dt, which is this value. So what is dh by dv? Reciprocal of this over here, which is 1 divided by 4 into 25 plus h whole square times dv by dt, which was 500, right? So we also know the value of h, which is 10 cm. So if I input that properly, that is 1 by 4. 10 plus 25 is 35 whole square times 500. So 500 divided by 4 divided by 35 squared, that gives us a value of 5 by 49. So dh by dt is equal to 0.102. Since it's an irrational number, 0.102. Okay, centimeters, right? Cm per second, I think. Centimeter per second, yeah. See if it's fine. Or you could write 5 by 49. That also works. That's good. Now at another instant, the rate at which h is increasing is this. Find the value of v at this instant. Okay, so now we have dh by dt. It happens to be 0.075. So we are asked to find out the value of v now. So let's do it. To do this, we first need to find out the value of h and then find out the value of v. What do I mean by this? dv by dt is equal to, we know that dv by dh into dh by dt, right? So we know that dv by dt is fixed. They said that it's constant at 500 cm cube per second. 500. And on this side, dv by dh, we found it out to be this thing over here. There you go. Times dh by dt, which is 0.075. So after simplification, it's 500 divided by 0.075 divided by 4. So that is 5000 by 3 is equal to 25 plus h whole square. So root over answer, that is 50 root 6 by 3 is equal to 25 plus h. And finally answer minus 25 gives you a value of h is equal to 15.8248. Fine. Now we want to find out the value of volume. So we know that volume is 4 by 3 25 plus h whole cube. Volume is 4 by 3 25 plus h whole cube minus 62500 by 3. Minus 62500 by 3. So if we input this over here, 4 by 3 25 plus 15.8248 whole cube minus 62,500 by 3. Let's see what happens. Plus 25 whole cube into 4 by 3 minus 62500 by 3. That gives me an answer of 69888.51. And finally rounded off to 3SF 123, that is 69900 cm cube. Okay, that is our final answer, 69900. Is that fine? All good? Okay, moving on to question number 10, last 3, 10, 11, 12. Find the exact volume when the shaded region is rotated 360 degrees about the x-axis. So when it's rotated about the x-axis, the limits will be on the x-axis itself. So we need these limits actually. We have one of them. Now we need this one. We have that point actually. It is, 3 by 2, right, in the x-axis? 1.5 basically. So let's do this. So the formula for volume is when it's rotated about the x-axis, of course. When it's rotated about the x-axis, the limits have to be the coordinates on the x-axis, but you need to make y the subject, right? So pi integral limits on the x-axis 3 by 2 and 1 y squared dx. Okay, so we can write this as v is equal to pi integral 3 by 2 1. If you square y, you end up with 16 divided by 2x minus 1 to the power 4 dx. Fine. Next, pi 1.51 can be written as 16 into 2x minus 1 to the power minus 4 dx. Now let's integrate it. The volume is equal to pi. This turns into 16. 2x minus 1 to the power minus 3. We have minus 3 into 2 down here, the 2 from here. Differentiation of 2x minus 1. Yeah, that's it, 1.51. So after further simplification, we end up with pi minus 16 by 3 by 2, that is minus 8 by 3. Minus 8 by 3, 2x minus 1 to the power minus 3, 1.5 and 1. Fine. So let's wrap things up. I'm doing the working here. So v is equal to pi minus 8 by 3 into 2 into 1.5 minus 1, that is 2 into 2 to the power minus 3, and plus 8 by 3, 1 into 2, 2 minus 1, which is 1 to the power minus 3, 2 into 1 minus 1. Yeah, so what do you get? V is equal to pi 2 to the power minus 3 into minus 8 by 3. 2 to the power minus 3 into minus 8 by 3, that is minus 1 by 3, and 1 to the power minus 3 into 8 by 3, that's plus 8 by 3. So 8 by 3 minus 1 by 3 is 7 by 3 pi. So v is equal to 7 by 3 pi. So what did we just get over here? I used up a lot of space. My bad. Wait. Let me bring this over here. Let me erase this because I need to do some working on this side. So basically what I found over here is the volume of, this part, the whole thing. But to find out the shaded region, I need to find the volume of this part over here and then subtract from my current answer. Okay, so there are multiple ways in which you could do this. You could actually opt for, this is one route, I'll show you both. You could opt for, now this is a cylinder. When it's rotated about the x-axis about 360 degrees, it's a cylinder with height 0.5, right, and radius, this is the radius 1. So you could say volume of the cylinder is pi r square h, where pi is pi, r square is 1 square, and the height is 0.5. So 0.5 into 1, that is half pi. Or the other way is you could find out the equation for y. So what is the equation of y for this horizontal line? It's basically y is equal to 1, right? So you could also opt for this, the alternate route. Volume is equal to pi integral 1.51 y dx. So that is equal to v equals to pi 1. Y square, sorry, 1. So what is the equation for the line? Y is equal to 1. 1 square is 1 dx. So what do you end up with? V is equal to pi after integration x 1.51. So v is equal to pi 1.5 minus 1, which is 0.5 pi. Okay, v is equal to 0.5 pi. Fine. Same answer. See, you'd get pi by 2 either way. Now what is the volume of the shaded region? Volume of revolution generated when the shaded region is rotated. So the volume of revolution is actually 7 by 3 pi minus pi by 2, which happens to be 7 by 3 minus 1 by 2, 11 by 6. 11 pi by 6, that is our final answer. Okay, Hopefully you understood this and you have no problems with this, hopefully. Yeah, so let's move on to the next one. A triangle is formed from the tangent to the curve at B. The tangent to the curve at B. Okay, I'm going to erase it to make things easier for us. A triangle is formed from the tangent to the curve at B, the normal to the curve at B, and the x-axis. Okay, fine. So tangent to the curve at B, the normal to the curve at B, and the x-axis. I don't know if it passes through the origin. Okay, I'm not sure. So they are talking about this triangle over here, this triangle. And obviously, since it's the angle between the tangent and normal, clearly it's going to be 90 degrees over here. Okay, so what do we need to find out the area of the triangle. So it's pretty straightforward. Okay, because we know that this is the height of the triangle and this is the base. Okay, this is the height and this is the base. So using dy by dx, we know that y is equal to 4 divided by 2x minus 1 whole square. Y is equal to 4 divided by 2x minus 1 whole square. We can find out dy by dx. How much is it? The y could be written as 4 into 2x minus 1 to the power minus 2, which is 4 into minus 2 times 2x minus 1 to the power minus 3 times 2 again, which is equal to 2 to the 4 minus 16 divided by 2x minus 1 whole cube. This is my dy by dx, clearly. Now we can find out the value of the gradient of the tangent by inputting 3 by 2 here. So let's do that. So dy by dx equals to minus 16 divided by 3 by 2 into 2 minus 1, which is 2 cube, minus 16 divided by 2 cube, which is minus 2. That is the gradient of the tangent at B. Okay, so we can also find out the equation of the tangent because we know the coordinates. It's 3 by 2 and 1. So the coordinates of B is 3 by 2, 1. So it's y. This is the equation of the tangent. Y minus 1 is equal to minus 2. X minus 3 by 2. Fine. So y minus 1 equals to minus 2x plus 3. Finally, y is equal to minus 2x plus 4. This is the equation of the tangent. Similarly, we can also find out the equation of the normal. How? The gradient of the normal will be the inverse reciprocal, so that's plus half. So equation of normal is y minus y1 again, minus 1 equals to plus half x minus 3 by 2. So y minus 1 is equal to half x minus 3 by 4, or y is equal to half x minus 3 by 4 plus 1, which is plus 1 by 4. And yeah, you can multiply this by 4, so you'd get 4y is equal to 2x plus 1. This is the equation. Now we can actually find out using the values of y is equal to 0, where the tangent and normal actually cuts the x-axis. Okay, so that is my goal right now. So when y is equal to 0, this minus 2x plus 4 equals to 0, or x is equal to 4 by 2, which is 2. So we got 1 point, that the tangent crosses x-axis at x equals to 2, and also when y is equal to 0 here, 2x is equal to minus 1, x is equal to minus half actually. Okay, so it doesn't pass to the origin. Normal crosses x-axis at x equals to minus half. Fine, so I should adjust my diagram accordingly. Wait. So since half 1 is over here, half should be somewhere over here, right? somewhere over here. So yeah, the diagram should actually be something like this. Yeah, this is my normal to the graph, and it crosses it as at minus half. Fine. Now we have our triangle, and we can simply find out the area using the formula half into base into height. So this distance over here, which corresponds to 1, is our height, and this over here is our base. We know that this point over here is 2, and this one is minus half. So what is the gap between this? 2 plus half, that is 2.5, right? 2.5, that is the base. So we can just go for it. Area is equal to half into base into height, where the base is 2 plus half, which is 5 by 2, and the height is 1. So we ultimately end up with 5 by 4. That is our answer. I can give you more clarification. I basically took out this triangle that you're seeing over here. I took out the triangle. The height is this distance over here, which is 1. That's the height. And this distance is the base, which starts from minus half and goes till 2. So 2 to minus half, the whole distance is 2.5, right? Since 0 is over here. Does that make sense? Okay. So yeah, as you can see, the variant does get harder after we cross question number 5. These questions are quite difficult comparatively. Moving on to question 11, the equation of a curve is such that dy by dx equals to 6x squared minus 30x plus 6a, where a is a positive constant. The curve has a stationary point at a and minus 15. Find the value of a. So we know that at stationary points, dy by dx is equal to 0. So we can write that 6x squared minus 30x plus 6a is equal to 0. So there is a stationary point at a minus 15. So we can write 6a square minus 30a plus 6a equals to 0, or 6a square minus 24a equals to 0. 6a minus 4 is equal to 0. So ultimately we end up with a is equal to 0 and 4. But they said that a is a positive constant, so a cannot be 0, right? A cannot be 0. A is in fact equal to 4. That is our first part, 4 only. Answer. Now determine the nature of the stationary point. How? We got to go for the second derivative, which is d square y by dx square, which is going to be, so let's input this first. dy by dx is now 6x square minus 30x plus 24. So let's differentiate that. That's going to be 12x minus 30, yeah? 12x minus 30. So we just input the value of x inside here. The value of x is a or 4. So x equals to 4, that is 4 12s 48 minus 30, which is 18. So since it is a positive value, we are going to say that it's a minimum point. We can say that since d square y by dx square is greater than 0, so it's a minimum point, right? That is our conclusion. Now find the equation of the curve. To do this, we need to integrate this equation over here, right? So let's begin. Y is equal to integral of this 6x square minus 30x plus 24 dx. So let's do that. After integration, we end up with 6x cubed by 3 minus 30x squared by 2 plus 24x plus c. So y is equal to 2x cubed minus 15x squared plus 24x plus c. Now if we input the values of a and minus 15, or 4 and minus 15, 4 minus 15, minus 15 is equal to 2 times 4 cube minus 15 times 4 square plus 24 into 4 plus c. 2 into 4 cube, 128. So minus 15 is equal to 128 minus 15 into 4 square minus 240 plus 24 into 4, which is 96, plus c. So c is actually equal to minus 15 minus 128 plus 240 minus 96. So interestingly, c has a value of plus 1. So what is our final answer? Y is equal to 2x cubed minus 15x squared plus 24x plus 1. Awesome. Find the coordinates of any other stationary points on the curve. How do we do that? We need to equate dy by dx with 0. So let's try doing that. So dy by dx equals to 0. We can take common here actually, 6. So x square minus 5x plus 4 equals to 0. Let's try doing it. X square. So 4 ones are 4. So that's minus 4x minus x plus 4 equals to 0. So x minus 4 minus 1, x minus 4 equals to 0. So x minus 1 and x minus 4 equals to 0. You could just show this in your calculator. So x is equal to 1 and 4. Fine. So we need the point, so we need to input it inside y, the equation that I just found. So I already had 4, I need to input y inside this. So 1, I mean, y is equal to 2 into 1 cube minus 15 into 1 square plus 24 into 1 plus 1. So y is equal to 2 minus 15 plus 24 plus 1. 2 minus 15 plus 24 plus 1, which is y is equal to 12. So what are my coordinates? 1 comma 12. That's the coordinates. These are the coordinates of my other stationary point. Okay, all good. Finally, we've come to our last question of the day. Circles. The diagram shows a circle P with center 0, 2 and radius 10, and the tangent to the circle at the point A with coordinates 6, 10. Circle with center P. Circle P with center 0, 2. 0, 2. This is our center. And radius 10. So this goes up to 2 plus 10, 12, and this goes up to minus 8. And yeah, this is 10 minus 10. Now, and the tangent to the circle at point A with coordinates this one over here. This is 6, 10. Now it also shows a second circle Q with center at the point where this tangent meets the y-axis, and it has radius 5 by 2 root 5. Write down the equation of circle P. This is pretty straightforward. So what is the radius of circle P? It's 10, right? So it's basically x, the centers, x minus 0 whole square plus y minus 2 whole square is equal to 10 square, or it's simply x square plus y minus 2 whole square is equal to 100. That is the equation of circle P. X minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square equals to r square. Find the equation of the tangent to the circle P at A. So this is the coordinate of our center, which is 0, 2. So we can actually find out the gradient of this line from center to A, that is the radius. So the gradient of the radius is actually equal to, that point is 6, 10, and this is 0, 2. 10 minus 2 divided by 6 minus 0. 10 minus 2 divided by 6 minus 0, which is 8 by 6 or 4 by 3. Awesome. Now what about the gradient of the tangent? It's going to be the reciprocal and negative, right? So gradient of tangent is equal to minus 3 by 4. Fine. How the tables have turned. Usually it's the gradient of the normal, but in this particular question it's like this. Now we need to find the equation. We know the points 6, 10. So what can we write? Y minus, it's 6, 10. Y minus 10 is equal to minus 3 by 4, x minus 6. So that's 4y minus 40 is equal to minus 3x plus 18. So we get 4y is equal to minus 3x plus 58. Okay, you can simplify it like this, like I have, or you can just keep it in terms of, you can choose to not simplify. It's up to you guys. Like you could go for this, y is equal to minus 3 by 4x plus what is 58 by 4, 29 by 2. Same thing, okay? No one cares. Are we in the final question? Oh god, we have 2 more. C. Find the equation of circle Q and hence verify that the y coordinates of both the points of the intersection of the two circles are 11. Equation of circle Q and hence verify that the y coordinates. Okay, let's find out the equation of circle Q first. So the tangent that we just found out passes through the y-axis at a certain point. So this one over here actually passes through the y-axis at a certain point. So we know that at y-axis x equals to 0, so y is equal to 29 by 2. So the center of this smaller circle is actually 0 comma 29 by 2. So what is the equation of the circle? It's simply also x minus 0 square, right? X minus 0 whole square plus y minus 29 by 2 whole square is equal to, what's the radius? They said that it's 5 by 2 root 5. Okay, 5 by 2 root 5 whole square. 5 by 2 root 5 whole square. So 5 by 2 root 5, 5 by 2 into root 5 whole square, that is 125 by 4. Interesting. So x square plus y minus 29 by 2 whole square is equal to 125 by 4. So we found the equation of the circle. Now what do we need to do? Now verify that the y coordinates of both of the points of intersection of two circles are 11. So they are in fact talking about these 2 points over here. They are saying that verify that the y coordinate of this point is in fact 11. So let's try to do that. What do we simply do? Both of them are the same. Like one of them is this, x square plus this is equal to 100. This is one equation. And the other is the one at hand. So what can I do? Can't I just make x square the subject? Can I do this? X square is equal to 100 minus y minus 2 whole square, and I'll just input that over here. So 100 minus y minus 2 whole square plus y minus, how much is that? 29 by 2, 14.5 basically. 14.5 whole square is equal to 125 by 4. So after further simplification, 125 by 4 minus 100, or 100 minus 125 by 4. 275 by 4. So 275 by 4, I put it on the left hand side, okay, is equal to y minus 2 square plus y minus 14.5 square. Oh wait, I think I made a mistake here. If I bring this on the left hand side, 100 minus 125 by 4, yeah, 275 by 4. On the right hand side, this turns positive, this is positive, but this should have a negative sign, right? Like this. Yeah, now it's fine. Okay, so 275 by 4 is equal to y square minus 4y plus 4 minus y square minus 2 into 14.5 is 29. 29y plus 14.5 whole square is 841 by 4. So I'm just gonna do the working over here, up here. Yeah, I hate circle maths, it's just so long. Okay, so after further simplification, 275 by 4 is equal to y square minus 4y plus 4 minus y square plus 29y minus 841 by 4. So if you bring that on that side, 841 by 4 plus 275 by 4, that gives you 279 on the left hand side. 279 on the left hand side is equal to, we can get rid of these, minus 4 plus 29 is 25y, and we have plus 4 here. So 25y is equal to 275. 275 by 25 is 11. Y is equal to 11, and that is the only answer. We have no other answers. So yeah, that's proved. Now find the coordinates of the points of intersection of the tangent and circle Q, giving you answer in third form. The tangent and circle Q. So what are they exactly talking about over here? Both of them? Points of intersection. Fine. So they are talking about, if you zoom in over here, they are talking about these 2 points specifically. This one over here, as well as this point over here, okay? So circle Q and the tangent. So we have the equation of the tangent. over here. Here you go. You also have the equation of the circle, which is this, the blue one. There you go. So we simply need to put it in. So let's do that. I'm going to put this inside here. So x squared plus minus 3 by 4x plus 29 by 2 minus 29 by 2 whole square is equal to 125 by 4. We can get rid of this. So x squared plus minus 3 by 4x whole square equals to 125 by 4. So minus 3 by 4 whole square equals to 9 by 16. So x squared plus 9 by 16 x squared equals to 125 by 4. So 9 by 16 plus 1, that is 25 by 16 x squared equals to 125 by 4. So ultimately 125 by 4 divided by answer will give you an answer of x squared is equal to 20. So x is equal to plus minus root over 20, which is plus minus 2 root 5. These are our two answers. Now what? We have to find the value of, wait, let me just bring this over here, because chronologically this came first. Now we have to find the value of y simply. So that's no biggie. Plus minus 2 root 5. So one of them is y is equal to minus 3 by 4 into plus 2 root 5 plus 29 by 2, which is minus 3 by 4 into 2 root 5 plus 29 by 2. That is equal to 29 minus 3 root 5 by 2. And the other one being y is equal to minus 3 by 4 into minus 2 root 5 plus 29 by 2. So minus 3 by 4 into minus 2 root 5 plus 29 by 2. That gives you an answer of 29 plus 3 root 5 by 2. So what are our final coordinates? When x is positive, yeah? When x is plus 2 root 5, it is 29 minus 3 root 5 by 2, 29 minus 3 root 5 by 2. That's one. And when x is minus 2 root 5, y is 29 plus 3 root 5 by 2. Fine, that is our answer. Okay, so overall, yeah, pretty difficult paper. Starting from question 6 onwards, the difficulty increased severely, but question 1 to 5 were really easy, really easy. Overall, I get why the threshold was low. It was kind of like paper 1 2 in terms of difficulty. So I hope that helped. I'm gonna be solving paper 1 3 really soon. All right. So hope that helped, guys, and if it did help, remember to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button and drop a like if you've liked the video. Also consider supporting me on Patreon, because you get access to my solved question papers as well as help from me. And join the Discord channel if you haven't already. Quick shout out to my patrons for the month, highest tier patrons. We have Dewa, Luna and Sean supporting me for the month. And I'm gonna link the paper for May-June 2023, paper 1-2 up here, and the paper for May-June 2023, paper 1-3 down here when I've solved that, and the playlist for math, A-level math P1 up here. And remember to hit the subscribe button. See ya, guys. Bye bye.